It was Whipping Star, and then the second book was called The Dosati Experiment.
Yes, the Dosati Experiment.
Now, the books don't really make sense.
No.
But if you search... Okay, so one of the alien races is called Gowachin. And so I searched Gowachin, Chin, okay? Search it, and I found the aliens Wikia. Okay? And it's actually really funny, right? Okay. Gowachin are sapient beings from the planet Tandalore, located in an unknown galaxy somewhere in our universe, who take full part in the consentiency, a collective of sentient species. They are frog-like in physical experience. You can play Vivaldi, whatever you want to play.
No, this is awesome.
But this is where it's really funny.
It's not autism if I'm a fan of it.
I mean, look, when I read these books, I kind of liked them, but I also realize what a load of bullshit they are, which is kind of funny. So, but the Gowachin sound really based in some ways, but also you can tell it's like kind of a libertarian guy just LARPing.
Yeah.
So the Gowachin are organized into phylums or extended olans.
Right.
Through a unique custom, their phylum identification is tattooed onto their eyelids. One of the rituals of meeting another sentient is a long blink that clearly exposes the Gowachin's phylum identification to the other. Criminals are exiled from their phylum and subsequently are forced to have their tattoos burnt off. While the tattoos themselves are still visible as scars, the scars themselves are a mark of tremendous shame. Gowachin young are born into a graluz, or indoor pool, into which the tadpoles are birthed and live under their father. Live until their father tests them by swimming through the graz, eating those he can catch. This winnowing process. So the father has a bunch of. The father tries to eat the kids. He eats the weak, and only the strong survive. The winnowing process is used to eliminate the slowest Gowachin who betray an insufficient desire for survival. The Gowachin are generally a patriarchal oligarchy, with the elder male ruling the phylum, while the female Gowachin are sheltered and sequestered in the home. This is great. Status in Gowachin society comes from one's relative rank in the phylum, as well as the phylum's overall reputation. This is very LARPy, but it
sounds almost like what Kurt Doolittle was talking about.
Do you remember basically what we're going for?
Do you remember the pan spetchy?
Without the frog tadpole shit.
Yeah, without the frogs.
And eating the babies, that's not what we really do.
Oh man, the pan
spetchy. It's a little too Ayn Rand.
The pan spetchy don't even have it. Oh man.
Wait, what were you gonna say?
The pan spetchy, they don't even have their own page on this shit. The other race of aliens that live in the little creche with the three of them, they share the same mind. You remember that shit?
Vaguely.
Oh my
It's been years since I read this book.
I know. I'm trying to read a good thing. I can't find a good thing.
Let me read the legal customs of the Gowachin.
Yeah, please.
This is where it's sort of funny.
This is really interesting. This is
where the libertarian LARPing comes in. Gowachin regard their legal practice as the strongest evidence that they are civilized. Gowachin law is based upon the notion of a healthy disrespect for all laws. The purpose of this notion is to avoid the stultifying accretion of a body of laws and precedents that bind Gowachin mechanically. In a typical Gowachin trial, everything is on trial. Every participant, including the judges, every law, even the foundational precept of Gowachin law. Legal concepts from other systems are often turned on their head. Someone pronounced innocent, guilty, and other terms by the court is torn to pieces by angry spectators. Judges may have bias. If I can, I decide for my side. I will. Though not prejudice, I will decide for my side, regardless. Defendant and plaintiff are chosen at the trial by the side bringing the complaint, choosing one role or the other. Torture is permitted and all procedural rules may be violated, but only by finding conflict within the procedural rules. Gowachin law is also illustrative of a dominative theme, that government's law and bureaucracy, effectively society's tools for regulating itself, are dangerous when allowed to escape sapient control. Now, this is all funny, and it's also extremely. This is like
it's crazy. It's
fucking
great.
Fat material.
It's great. This is such a great read. All three of those books are awesome. I highly recommend them all.
They're funny, but
by Herbert Walker.
This is all Frank Herbert. I mean, I'm a little bit less enthusiastic
I'm showing
about
my total
them.
pleb knowledge right now.
I'm a little less enthusiastic about them because I got kind of annoyed with them.
I think they're great. That's why. That's part of
But the funny thing is the whole thing where like you win when you find a conflict
Yes.
within procedural rules. That is like the most ANCAP shit because
the
the whole
greatest.
thing with ANCAPs and
It's-
if you ever look at like sovereign citizen shit or voluntarious shit,
It's argumentation ethics.
any of the stuff where they apply like there's argumentation ethics and then any of the things where they
Jewish in a
apply
way.
like they're like within your law, like I will find something in your law and apply it to itself and then find all the contradictions. So like I don't have to submit I don't have to submit evidence against myself, yet why do I have to file a tax return? Filing a tax return is fundamentally submitting evidence against myself. Like, okay, you say I am a so-called taxpayer. What evidence do you have that I'm a taxpayer? The only evidence you have is your own word. Okay, well, the company I work for submits paperwork saying I'm a taxpayer, but they're legally bound to submit that. Therefore, they're under threat, duress, or coercion. Am I under threat, duress, or coercion when I sign my W-2? I am, because if I don't, I go to jail. Therefore, no evidence I submit on the W-2 can possibly be valid in court, etc. Like, you can do this shit, right? Now, of course,
This
any
kind of goes
judge...
also into like jury nullification.
Right,
It sounds like
jury
that one.
nullification
Yeah,
is more like I'll fucking argumentation ethics on U.S. tax law all day. I was a libertarian for 10 years. I could do that, but also once you acknowledge that it's just force, then yes, they take your money or they'll put you in jail, and that's what it comes down
That's the
to.
end.
So you will give them your money. You can play these
Yes.
games for a little while.
End of
but
argument, basically.
Ultimately, you'll pay. But yeah, that's the funny thing. Argumentation ethics is defeated by one party just holding a gun to the other party
That's
and
basically
not
it.
arguing. But
And then you go read Moldbug,
Yeah,
and
so
you go read
it's like-
Moldbug, and you realize that that's okay.
yeah,
Then you get
or
over
it's
it.
okay as long as it's not a fucking communist.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. There you go.